Salam! In this video, we are going to introduce Amharic. My name is Astin. I am originally from Ethiopia. My native tongue is Amharic. Amharic is spoken as a first language by about 40 million people in Ethiopia, or wherever there is a large Ethiopian community anywhere else. So, for example, Washington, D.C. has a pretty large Ethiopian community, so you will hear Amharic being spoken there.
Hi, my name is Betty. I was born and raised in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Amharic is typically spoken in Ethiopia. It's the official language. And there's also a specific region called the Amara region.
Amharic is taught at school, secondary school, and universities. Amharic is generally used everywhere, in entertainment, TV, at work, at home, in shopping. Speakers of Amharic typically also speak other Ethiopian languages, such as Orominya or Tigrinya.
I would say Amharic is a complex language. You can write the same way one word, but the way you pronounce it can mean different things. Most of my friends are my childhood friends, and we went to the same French school together. So we use a combination of English, French, and Amharic when we speak to one another.
I speak both French and English pretty much as well as Amharic.
I do use Amharic at home, mainly because my husband is from Ethiopia as well. Even with my friends, I tend to write in English or in French, mainly because it's easier to use my phone to write in this alphabets. So French and English would be the language I use to text and write.
Outside of the context of early education, I actually never write in Amharic.
If I could I could write Amharic easily, I would interact more with my parents. I would interact more with my cousins that some of them actually don't speak English or French. So it would make my interaction with my family much better.
I usually communicate with my parents through video streaming through WhatsApp. Amharic is used by Amharic speakers everywhere in social media. All of the platform services like YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, all of those, since they're just content creation platforms, are also available in Amharic because people can create content in Amharic.
There are a lot of YouTube channels in Amharic, and this is something that is rapidly growing, and people actually look for those videos in Ethiopia, mainly because it's new and you can learn a lot from it.
There's a lot of comedy TV shows that are on YouTube in Amharic. The homepage of Google, when you go to Ethiopia, is completely translated to Amharic, and the relevant documents that come up when you search something are also translated in Amharic. There is a Wikipedia in Amharic, and I mostly come across it when I'm searching things when I'm in Ethiopia. Google Translate also has Amharic. I always use it when a word only comes to me in like one language.
I would say half of the population does have like a mobile device. Laptops are less, but there's still like a good number of people that would use laptops as well. Out of, let's say, the 30 million people that do have access to a mobile device, maybe 30%, 40% would have a data plan.
The most recent study I read said that there are about 20 million people in Ethiopia that have access to data or Wi-Fi, and both data and Wi-Fi are extremely expensive right now.
The younger ones do use urban Amharic, and the older ones obviously use a more proper Amharic.
A lot of the differences are in the accents, so you can definitely tell a difference between like Amharic that's spoken in the cities, let's say, and Amharic that's maybe spoken in more rural areas. And there are also other differences where, for example, there's a region where they don't use one of the alphabets that is commonly used. So it would be the same word, but without that alphabet, for instance. Personally, in my own life, I find the translation between English and Amharic very useful. But one translation that I would really like to see is between the different languages in Ethiopia. So, I would like to see the translations between Amharic and Orominya, for example, because I find that sometimes useful.
Some of my friends that have never been to Ethiopia and were born in other countries such as America or countries in Europe, they can speak the language, but they can't write it or they can't read it. So having a technology that supports educating people like them would play a huge role. My hopes is that people who do not have access to technology today can get access because the technologies would support Amharic and they would understand it, and they don't have to learn English or they don't have to learn French or Spanish to be able to use those technologies.